Hey y'all, it's Jen. Welcome back. First of all, excuse my appearance today. As if you didn't know, it is already like 1,000,000 degrees here in the south. So humid, and right now we're having thunderstorms roll through. We've been out and about running errands, so this is what you're gonna get today. But anyway, I'm so excited today because we're going back to the church cookbook series, and I have two really good, perfect for summer side dishes to share. But before we get cooking today, I want to say how excited I am to be participating in a collab today. And today's theme is smells like a church supper. Perfect, right? And I'm actually collabing with 4 other sweet ladies here on YouTube in a Women of Faith collaboration. Darlene from Super at 60 asked me to participate, and I'm honestly so honored that she would even think of me for this collaboration, especially a Women of Faith collaboration. So anyway, I'm gonna have all other 4 ladies and their channels and their videos linked down below in the description box. So when you're done here, you will have even more church supper recipes to go check out. It's gonna be so good, and I cannot wait to see their recipes. All right, so I'm thinking I'm gonna make myself a cup of coffee before we get cooking tonight. I'm gonna make both side dishes tonight with you guys, so that'll be fun. I have a little bit to share in there as well. And one more thing, these 2 recipes today, I did not actually find in one of my church cookbooks, but I feel certain that you pick up any Southern church cookbook, you're gonna find these 2 in there somewhere. So I'm excited. Let's go make some coffee and let's get started cooking. I'm using just a saucepan. You can use a big skillet for this as well. And we're gonna start by making the creamy sauce that's gonna go on these scalloped potatoes. So first, to my saucepan, I'm just adding half a stick of butter. We're gonna get that melting. And along with that, I have 1 chopped onion here. I'm just gonna add that right in with that. We're also gonna add in about 2 cloves of minced garlic. We're just gonna let that butter melt down and let these onions cook a little bit until they're soft. And this is way off subject, but y'all have to let me know. I feel like my cooking situation is already so much brighter just from the parts that we've done in our kitchen so far. We haven't even painted yet, but our backsplash is white, and it's so dark outside, but I feel like my video looks so much brighter and so much more clear. So I'm so happy about that. Y'all will have to let me know if y'all can tell a difference as well. While that is working, we're gonna come over here. I'm gonna add 2 cups of milk. And then to that, we're gonna add 1 cup of chicken broth. Let's give that a quick little whisk. All right, our onions have been cooking a few minutes. They are starting to get nice and soft. So now I have 1/4 cup of flour. We're just gonna sprinkle that in. And now I'm just gonna kind of whisk that around. We're gonna let this cook just a couple more minutes just to get that flour, raw flour taste cooked out. All right, let me go grab my coffee. So now I'm gonna bring over that milk and chicken broth mixture, and I'm gonna start adding that in just a little bit at a time and continue whisking. All right, got all that whisked together. I'm just gonna bring this back up to a boil. All right, so I don't know if you guys can tell, but I brought my little cream mixture here to a boil. It's been boiling for about a minute. So now we're gonna go over and grab our sliced potatoes, and we're gonna get this on top. But first, before I forget, let's add a little salt and a little pepper to this. A good amount. All right, now I just have my 9x13 dish. I'm gonna give that a little spray. And then I have about 3 pounds of just russet potatoes. You can use whatever kind you want. And I went ahead and sliced these up. They're in about 1/8 of an inch little slices there. So I'm gonna add about 1/3 of these to my baking dish. Now the recipe that I'm following says when you do your layers, once you get your potatoes in here, to sprinkle with salt and pepper to season them up. But I say use whatever season you want. And whenever I make scalloped potatoes, we really like to use the Lowry's seasoned salt. It's so good. Y'all, I even cut some potatoes in a dish, put some of this on it and some butter and microwave them, and they turn out good. So trust me on this. All right, I'm gonna bring over our cream sauce. I'm just gonna drizzle on top. And then we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna get another layer. Basically, you just wanna make sure you end with the cream sauce to get nice and down in there and all over these potatoes. And you could definitely add some cheese, even some bacon to this. Pretty much whatever you wanna add. But this really doesn't take a whole lot of time, and I think it's good for, you know, cookouts, barbecues, because who doesn't love potatoes, right? And something different other than just potato salad. Not too much, because we do have that chicken broth in there, and I did salt the sauce, but it just gives it a little something. All right, there we go. So now we'll just pour on the rest of our sauce. You need to, you can kind of stir them around a little bit. You just kind of want to make sure all the potatoes are pretty covered. They will cook down a little bit, so no worries, but I just like to make sure they all have a little bit on there. All right, let me grab some tinfoil. All right, this is going into the oven at 350, covered for the first 45 minutes, and then we're gonna uncover it. All right, let's take a peek. These are not quite done. I'm gonna show y'all what they look like, just a bubbling and baking away and getting all golden in there. And you can broil these to make the top get a little bit more golden brown, but as you can see, mine are getting pretty brown on top. And sometimes broiling in my Pyrex makes me nervous because I don't want it to bust. So anyway, I'm gonna pull this out and let's see how they are. We're also gonna let these sit about 15 minutes just to let that sauce thicken back up. So I just checked them, but all you wanna do is make sure your fork goes easily through those potatoes. It's hard to pull out one-handed, but they're definitely soft. So there you go. Like I said, you can top with cheese, but this, just like this, is a classic Southern church supper recipe. Alright, I hope you've made it this far into the video because this recipe is so good. And so if you are still here, maybe you'll consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stick around for a little bit longer. But anyway, now it's time to start chopping some veggies for this cornbread salad. And while I do that, I just want to take a second and chat with you guys. Y'all, I'm going to be honest, I'm so nervous to do this part. I do not know why. It's not a sponsorship, nothing like that. But anyway, let's just get to it. So when Darlene asked for me to participate in this collab, in this Women of Faith collab, she asked for us to use a word somewhere in here. And the word is unashamed. And Darlene also asked us to speak boldly about our faith for this video. I've spoken a few times about my faith, my relationship with God, and things like that here on my channel, but I don't speak about it specifically too much. I don't know. I just try to
I guess, lead through my actions more than just my words, because I'm really not good at it. But here we are. So the only thing I could think of, y'all, every time I was thinking of unashamed, only one thing came to mind, and that is the type of Christian that I am and I want to be. Now, this is not going to be about me. I do have a point, so stick with me. But I am unashamed that I'm still on a journey in my relationship with God. I don't know the Bible by heart. I can't quote scripture after scripture. Sometimes, a lot of times, my kids even teach me things I did not know about the Bible, and I'm totally cool with that. Also, when I first started homemaking, I did not even know Proverbs 31 existed. Like, I did not know that was a thing. And that was a huge inspiration when I found it to lead me in my homemaking journey and thus lead me to YouTube. But anyway, we don't go to church every Sunday. You might hear me saying a cuss word or a few cuss words. You might catch me with a choice beverage on the beach this summer. However, I know that my relationship with God is always growing and evolving, and I'm always trying and learning. So I do know one thing, actually two things. One thing is that God still loves me, and the other thing is that the Bible tells us that God uses the small guy, right? Jesus was friends with everybody, no matter who they were, what they had done. And the Bible tells us God uses those people where they are in their journey to meet others in that same spot, or to meet them closer to where they are, because that's how he knows his message is going to be heard and understood. So I want you to know that if you're like me and you're still strengthening your relationship with God, I'm so proud of you, and more importantly, so is he. Keep seeking, pushing, and sharing what you do know. And most importantly, especially in the world right now, keep showing the love of Jesus to everybody, no matter who they are, where they come from, what they do, who they love, anything. I feel like also in our world right now, Christians sometimes get a bad rap. Like, they're so judgmental and closed-minded and all this stuff, but you know, if you've never heard anything about the Bible, if you've never had any sort of relationship with God, I encourage you just to seek it out. Of course, there's so much information on YouTube, and I want to be maybe somebody who is not judgmental and is accepting of everybody, because I believe that is how Jesus is and was. So anyway, if you are like me and are unsure to share these things with people, maybe just like me, you can share what you do know. And I believe that what you do know and who you share that with is exactly where God wants you to be in this moment. So anyway, I hope that made sense, and I hope y'all get my point. Thank y'all for listening.
So this is definitely one of those things that I wouldn't make too far in advance, like not the night before anything. Maybe, an hour or so would be fine, but you can go ahead and prep everything ahead of time. I had a couple hours earlier today that I went ahead and did that. I went ahead and prepped all of our different colorful layers we're gonna use. And so it only takes about 5 or 10 minutes to throw the actual dish together. All right, let's get this so y'all can really see what we're doing, how pretty we're gonna make it. Also, I went ahead and made my cornbread as well, so you can definitely do that. Or if you happen to have a deli or bakery, you can pick up a, pre-made cornbread. I know I've seen those sometimes. Even corn muffins would work well. So you could really start with any layer that you want, but I'm gonna start with the cornbread. And I'm just gonna break some up into the bottom of our dish. And I don't want it to be in like crumbs, so I'm trying to leave kind of bite-sized pieces together. And as always in trifle dishes, I like to make sure some are kind of pushed up against the sides, because of course that's the part that's gonna make it pretty. So I'll go ahead and tell y'all, the other way you can do this is just kind of make everything together. Gosh, y'all, I keep hitting my dishwasher. This is where I film, and my dishwasher is right here. And I hit it all the time and turn it on. Anyway, you can mix your cornbread and all of this stuff back here along with the dressing all together in a bowl. And that way the cornbread has time to go ahead and suck everything up and it's all married together. Or you can serve it the way we're gonna do it today. But if you serve it like this, you just kind of want to stir it up on your plate, you know, get the dressing all over it. I mean, I'm sure y'all know how to eat something, but it's just two different ways that people prefer to do it. Some people prefer to mix it together because they like it, you know, already kind of moist and married and all that good stuff. But we're gonna do it like this. All right, let's do the dressing last. So I have just a can of corn that I just opened right up. I'm gonna sprinkle that on top. I also have a green bell pepper that I also went ahead and chopped. Sprinkle some of that on. Next, I have a red onion that I also chopped. And if you're like me and you love a big old salad with some homemade ranch and some croutons, this is pretty much it. So I know this might sound like a weird combo to some, but I think that's a good analogy. If you like a salad with ranch and croutons, you're gonna like this. I also have a tomato that I chopped up. That particular recipe I think calls for 2 tomatoes. I don't love tomatoes, so I'm just gonna add 1. But of course you can add more or less of whatever you like. Next, I'm gonna go in with some bacon pieces. You can cook your own bacon, but this makes it easier just to use the bacon bits. It tastes just as good. Next, we're going in with some sharp cheddar cheese. And then lastly to this layer, we're gonna add some of that mayo and ranch. I'll spread it out a little bit. If it looks messy on the side, that just adds to it. Now I'm gonna do the same thing all over again. I mean, leave it to Southern people, right? To make something called a cornbread salad. All right, so for the top, I'm just gonna go in with that corn, a little bit more green pepper. All right, so now for the top layer, I'm gonna take my cheddar cheese and just kind of go around just the edge. And I always like to do this too when you're doing any sort of trifle, to kind of put a little bit of the toppings all on the top layer. That way people kind of know what's in there. Make sure everybody's in the bowl. Next, we're gonna go around that cheese with a layer of bacon. Lots of bacon in here. And then our leftover dressing, I'm just gonna put that right in the center. And like I said, once people start digging into this, you know, it'll get stirred up and mixed up. And then now for some color right on top of that, let's add just a little bit of red onion. Also have some green onion over here for a little bit of color. Add a little green onion. And yes, we'll add a couple more tomatoes for a little bit of red right on top. There we go. I think that looks so pretty, don't you?
Yeah. Leftovers for you.
We have a live audience, always. She's eating all the leftover toppings, so if you saw me leave any in a bowl, don't worry, they will get eaten right away, right?
Yeah.
What you eating?
Bacon bits.
They good?
Mm-hmm.
You think this looks good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tastes better when it's mixed up.
Yes. right, my friends, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you for cooking along with me. I hope you'll go check out everybody down below in the description box. Check out their videos. These are going to be some good down-home recipes. I just know it. I just feel it in my soul. So make sure you go check them out. Send them some love. Subscribe to all their channels because I know you guys are going to love them. And I hope you're all doing amazing. I hope you had a great week, and I'll see you real soon in my next one. Bye, y'all.